r/surviving infidelity. 4 years wasted. Turns out I was a side piece. First and foremost, I apologize in advance if this is grammatically difficult to read, as I am not the best writer. I spent 4 years with a woman that I loved but never received the love I gave out. I gave, and she was like a master puppeteer and kept me on her strings. The sad part is I knew it the whole time, but I went against my gut feeling in order to give her the benefit of the doubt. Big mistake. I met her, let's call her Elizabeth, at work one day, and it was not that typical love at first sight shit. I never found her attractive or anything at first. It wasn't until my mother pointed out that she was beautiful one day after seeing her and encouraging me to get to know her that I decided, why not? So, Elizabeth and I exchanged numbers and casually set up days to meet and hang out. We kept flaking out on each other on both sides for a couple of months though. Until one day we actually hung out and saw a movie. It was a bad movie, by the way, and our interactions with each other was a bit awkward as there was little to no conversations. So, I thought she might not be interested into me, which was fine. To my surprise, she was willing to hang out again, and the second date we went to a restaurant, which was actually an amazing date. We conversed about many topics and I was surprised at how much we had in common. Long story short, that day I actually took a liking to her and began to initiate more and more interactions with her. One day I told her I was into her and wanted to be exclusive. She was a bit taken back, a bit to my surprise, and she told me that she wanted to get to know me better before she could make that decision, as she takes relationships seriously and doesn't just casually date and have boyfriends like that. I thought to myself that was weird, but at least she didn't say no. See, as the months, about 4, went by and we spent more and more time together, I started to develop more and more feelings for her, and I assumed the same, as she never rejected my affection until one day when I went in for a kiss, she rejected me. She told me she was into me and wants to see where this goes, but she wants to make sure she is in love with me before she does any kissing or engage into intimacy. I was a bit understanding, as it was something I have never experienced before, and let it go. This to me is a red flag. About 1.5 years passes by and I finally engage in sexual activity with her via groping and kissing, but no intercourse, as she stops me each and every time, even when she tells me she wants me to fuck her, as she says. I was upset and spoke to her about it, and she told me that for her the act of sex is being connected on a whole different level and she doesn't just let anyone do it, and she would have to consider me a boyfriend or husband material if we did it. Obviously, I argued that we had already gotten to that point, in which she dropped the subject under the wrong. As upset as I was, I respected her decision and let it go. More time passes by, about 2.5 years into the relationship, and we have done everything in the book except have intercourse. You can imagine my frustrations. She has met my entire family, frequently visited my place, and slept over on a weekly basis. I asked her one day about why I have never met any of her family members, nor friends. At this point she met all mine. Here is where red flag number 2 hits. She is from Ethiopia and she says her family would disapprove any relationship she was in unless she would bring home a husband. Literally. As for her friends, she says she is too busy with school to have any. I felt something felt off about that. One day I went on her Facebook page just to see what kind of things she posts about. Mind you, I have never commented on any of her posts at this point, and I saw in one of her posts a guy, let's just call him Cam, commented on a whole bunch of her posts. It raised an eyebrow of mine, so I kept scrolling through her posts until I saw one where he calls her baby in one of the posts. Mind you, the post was about 4 days old, so you know she saw it. I commented right under it and said, "Baby, wow." She blew my phone almost immediately. I ignored it, but she kept calling and texting until I picked up. She told me, oh, he is just a friend from a while ago whom she used to be interested in, but it never went anywhere, and that I didn't have to worry. She said that he likes to play games and that she told him to stop calling her that, as she did not see a future with him. I knew it was bullshit because no friends do that kind of crap, but I didn't have any concrete proof that she was seeing him. Funny thing was, I went to his page and saw that he had met her family, sisters, and mother, etc. I was shocked and taken back. Nothing incriminating on his part, but the fact that he always talked about Elizabeth. I looked at the dates to see how long ago these posts were, and they were within the first year she and I started seeing each other. The very next day when I went to her page, it was gone, like it was deleted. I logged off my account and searched her name just to see if she deleted her account. It was there. Meaning whenever I signed onto my account, her page was not there. Meaning she blocked me. I asked her about this, and she told me she didn't know about this and that she did not block me. Nothing since then. Fast forward into the 3rd year, she is in college and has a scholarship in her field. She comes over once a week but is always busy being with her mentor, as she calls him. She always talked about her mentor but never called him by his name. She also took normal trips to other states with him as part of her scholarship. One-on-one trips, mind you. That to me was fishy, and when I asked about him, she told me he is an old man and married. When she would go on these trips, I would ask her for pics just to see what it was like where she went as well as what her mentor looked like. She refused. As she says she doesn't like to take pictures. One day she came to my place to spend the night, and as we were lying in bed together cuddling, she looks at her phone and asks me to leave my room so she could take a call. I couldn't believe what she asked me. In my own room she wants me to leave so she can take a private phone call. I asked her why did I have to leave and why can't she just take this call with me on the phone here? At this point she made it clear that we were together and that she didn't like secrecy, so you can imagine how turned off I was at this proposal. I will never allow a woman that is my girlfriend to ask me to leave my own room to answer a phone call again. She told me it was school related, and her mentor was calling her around 9 p.m. I got up frustrated and took my phone out, turned on the voice recorder and left it by the door. About 10 minutes pass and she asks me to come back in. When I do, she can visibly see I am upset and starts apologizing and said it was super important and didn't want to get nervous with me next to her. I take my phone and step outside to see what the conversation was about. As I play the recorder, her tone of voice is extremely low, as if she is whispering. I think she must have moved to the other side of the room opposite of where my phone was. It was hard to hear her and make out what she said, but I did pick up, "Hey, why are you calling me so late, and I will try to make time to see you," and couple of giggles here and there. That was all. I couldn't hear no babies, no I love yous. For someone who supposedly values communication, trust, honesty, and loyalty, I did not feel like she was being either. She told me that she loves me at this point and we always kissed, got intimate, but we never had sex within the 4th year. I told her how much I loved her. I did everything I could for her. I took her out, I was there for her when her father passed away, I encouraged her to pursue her goals, cooked for her, showed her my vulnerabilities, drove her wherever she needed to go, gave her money to pay for school things, etc. But I was so insecure at this point and decided that the best thing for me to do was end the relationship with her, but I wasn't sure how I would do it until one day she called me and asked to meet in person. She told me that she wanted to take time to focus on her studies and thought it would be best for her to not be in a relationship. I asked her if it was because she was seeing someone else. She told me no and reassured me that she just wants to focus on herself and that she did not have time for a relationship, and said that she did not want to be in a half-assed relationship on her part because she could not give me her all. But she told me to wait for her and she would come back. I told her I couldn't wait forever and that I will move on, but if she is ready and by that time if I am single, we could try to work things out. She was so happy and gave me a deep and passionate kiss. About 2 months later she never called or texted me. To be honest, I didn't want to either, so I didn't. So I got curious to see what she was up to, so I checked out her Facebook off of my account, and lo and behold, she was engaged to Cam, the guy I saw on her Facebook posts all those years ago, ring and all. My eyes opened so wide and I knew I should have raged. But I didn't, all I could do was laugh and blocked her from everything. It really sunk in there at this point that I was a side piece and that he was her number one. It all makes sense. How could you date someone for so long, and do everything except sex, the blocking on social media, never meeting any of her family and friends, the bullshit? I have been red-pilled and learned a lesson from all of this. Guys out there, if your gut is telling you she is seeing someone else where nothing adds up, trust your gut, don't let your own stubbornness blind you from the truth like I did me. If you give so much and are an open book and she isn't the same with you, it is not worth it, simply put. However, a couple of days she did contact me on Snapchat. I never blocked her on that, and I won't lie, I am tempted to indulge. What should I do? Anyways, thank you for reading if you made it this far. Now for some comments. Comment 1. Wow, man, she played you like a shit. It's unimaginable that one human being can do this to another. She kept you as backup, lulled you into illusion, lied to you constantly. You ended up wasting 4 years of your life on completely utter trash. I think blocking her is not enough. Contact that Cam dude and send her your entire story to him. Describe in gory details all the sexual acts she performed on you. All the cuddles when he called her. He deserves to know what kind of cute-timing lady of the evening she is getting into. As a man, this is your duty to another man. Hopefully he will break up with her after reading your story, and then she will lose her first choice. It is only fair that she also loses her 4 years of life exactly the way you lost. If I was you, I would go even one step ahead and make sure all her Facebook friends knows this story. These sick people needs to be completely and thoroughly exposed so other humans are be aware of them. Hope you will do your duty. Comment 2. What a psychopath. She fully led you on for 4 whole years. And like you said, She wasted your time. Be glad you didn't marry this witch. All cheaters are holes, but to create a whole elaborate storyline like she did shows some degree of psychopathy. Block her from your life forever and don't engage, no matter how much you may miss her. Comment 3. OP, do what your moral compass tells you. Is it right to let the other man Cam know who the real Elizabeth is? If so, gather and present all the evidence to Cam one-on-one. If possible, let him take it from there. Got a feeling, if he's not with you, it'll be with another. Your temptation to indulge her in Snapchat is a good start. Don't feel guilty to expose her, as she the one to contact you even after you block her and all, except that's only if you feel is right. Take care. Comment 4. It's a sad story, but seriously, any woman who doesn't want to have sex with you within a couple of months of starting to date you, and usually it's much earlier, say 3 or 4 dates, of course, some women like to take it a bit slower, but certainly by the 6th date if you're not getting very sexual, doesn't necessarily have to be intercourse, but you should be doing everything, but by then, at a minimum, she is just not sexually attracted to you. At all. The only exception might be an actual very religious virgin who has to be married first, but are they really a thing any longer, or just a myth? Yes, you got played, OP. But I'm sure you must know you played yourself, too. Comment 5. I was a side piece as well. She was dating me, yup, officially, and her boyfriend of 6 years at the same time. I met her sister and parents and was introduced as her boyfriend. Meanwhile, she was dating the other guy. She told me that they broke up but remained friends, which was a lie, as they never broke up. He just was working in another city. When I found out, I told her to choose between us and she chose him. I was devastated. Then maybe 6 to 8 months later I met my now wife, love of my life and mother of my 5 kids, born in August, on a train when I was traveling back to our hometown. Meanwhile, she married the other guy. Well, 1 year after that and 5 years after we broke up, she shows at my door in my hometown and start making demands that we get back together. Even had the audacity to tell my wife that she should leave me because we clearly deserve another chance at being together, and that she realized that she made a mistake by marrying the other guy. Funny how she was sure that it wasn't a mistake when I was a poor student from a small town. We rejected her offers and demands, and now she became fixated on the idea of us being together. 5 years after the situation I just described to you and 10 years after we broke up. And I know because we have too many mutual friends plus her sister who are keeping me well informed. This is a good thing in my case because this way I can keep her at a distance and can react fast if she tries anything crazy. She is still married to the other guy. He knows about her wishes. Why is he still with her is beyond me. Codependency maybe? No idea, at least I'm not with her, officially counting this as a blessing. Thanks for watching. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great. It will really help me a lot.